Hey, howdy guys, this is Dave, and welcome to another Choose Your Own Adventure reading. Here we have Knights of the Round Table. This is number 86 in this series, and the copyright is 1988. And without further ado, here we go. It seems like an ordinary Saturday. Your best friend is away visiting relatives. You've read all the books in your room, and there's nothing good on TV. You mope around while trying to find something to do. Finally, you decide to go to the Sword and the Stone, a store that carries comics and models and books about knights and castles and stuff. The owner of the store is an old man with a long white beard. His eyes peer out brightly from under bushy eyebrows. They are fixed on you. "Come back for more, have you?" the man asks. You guess you have been coming to the store a lot since it opened a few months ago. There's something about the old days of knights in armor and quests that you really like, and the old man is very nice about letting you browse. That means you've read most of the books in the store without having to buy them. "This time you want something special, don't you?" the store owner says. "It's getting time to make it real." Turn to page 10. You're not sure what the store owner means about making it real, but you nod your head. The old man takes a heavy old leather-bound book down from a shelf. King Arthur and His Noble Knights. You've heard of Arthur, the greatest king the world has ever known. He was the defender of the poor and oppressed, lord of the bravest and most beautiful company of knights and ladies ever to walk the earth. Arthur pulled the sword, Excalibur, from the magic stone when he was only a little older than you are now. No one else could budge that sword. It proved by magic that Arthur was born to be King of England. The bearded store owner strokes the book as though it were a pet or an old friend, and silently offers it to you. Without a word, you take the book and go sit in the cozy chair in the store's reading nook. Turn to page 4. The book is heavy. The pages have yellowed with age, and some of the words are long, but after a while, the reading gets easier. You read about the boy Arthur becoming king. You read about his friend Merlin, the wizard, and their early wars against the other kings. Then Arthur got the idea to collect all the bravest knights and gather them around a round table with no head or foot, so everyone was equal. He made the Knights of the Round Table promise to fight for what was good and right. You read about how the knights went on adventures. Between quests, they jousted in pretend battles called tournaments. Even kids got to have adventures, because kids who wanted to be knights had to start out training as pages. And sometimes pages were the only ones who could escape when everyone else had been captured. Go to the next page. You're just reading a part that goes, "Then Arthur set up his court in Camelot, and there came the best knights in the world to serve him at the round table. And never a person came hungry to Arthur's castle, but he left it full of bread and meat, and never a person came to Camelot looking for adventure, but he left it on some quest or great adventure. Now one day, it happened that," when a shadow falls over the page. Turn to page 11. You look up quickly to find the source of the shadow. "I'm sorry," the store owner says, "but that's as far as I can let you read." "But why?" "It would not be right for you to know too much. You'll have to discover things for yourself. That is, if you're willing." He's talking just like an enchanter from the book. You can almost picture him in a wizard's long robe. It seems as if magic has come out of the book to find you. "Oh yes," the old man says. "You know just what I mean. I can see it in your eyes. That hunger for knights and the days of adventure. You're not the first one I've seen it in. I'm going to help you get there." "Get where?" you wonder. "To Camelot? That's impossible." But the old man is looking seriously at you with his strange eyes. "You can try to learn how to be a knight and help King Arthur." He holds up another book. "Of course, if you'd rather have your adventures between book covers, I have plenty of books. You can borrow as many as you like. Books have been known to change people's lives, you know." All right, here's our first set of choices. If you ask to go to Camelot, turn to page 14. If you take the book to finish it, turn to page 20. Okay, come on, what are we doing here reading this if we're not going to be knights? Come on, let's go to Camelot. Turn to page 14. You tell the old man, "Let me go to Camelot, and I'll do everything I can to help the king." "That is good," he says. "I will send you off like a knight on a quest. But you are not a knight yet, and I don't know what your quest will be. You will have many choices to face, and some may be hard. But remember, knighthood is not only courage and bashing people with swords. It is honesty and kindness and loyalty as well." "I'll remember," you promise solemnly. "Then here is your first choice." The store owner takes 2 models off a shelf. "This is a page who works for the knights, training to be a knight someday. Pages are carefully watched, and if this is what you choose, you'll have little time to yourself." The other model is a scullion, who scrubs pots in the kitchen scullery. Scullions work very hard, but when your work is done, nobody cares where you go. And people talk in front of servants. You might hear secrets. "But if I work in the kitchen, I'll never get to be a knight." He looks sharply at you and then laughs. "Oh, I forgot. You never got to finish the book. My dear child, anything is possible in Camelot." And we got another set of choices here. If you choose to become a page, turn to page 47. If you choose to become a scullion, turn to page 26. Now, I think the page would normally be the best route, but I kind of like the word scullion, so I think I might go with that. I know it's, just someone washing dishes, but let's go with it. Page 26. The model of the scullion is dressed in brown, with an old canvas apron. Not very impressive looking, but worth a try. In the King Arthur book, adventures can happen to anyone. You take the model from the old man. As your hand closes on the model, you feel a rushing all around you, as though you were being turned inside out and upside down at once. Suddenly, you feel a thump. You're sitting on the floor. Right in front of you is a huge fireplace. The fire is going full blast, and the biggest piece of meat you've ever seen is roasting on a spit. It looks like a whole cow. Out of nowhere comes a blow to the side of your head. A red-faced man in a bloody apron is standing over you. "Get to work!" he shouts. "Do you want the meat to burn?" Turn to page 37. Your ears are ringing from the blow. You'd love to tell the bully who hit you to fuck off. Just kidding, it says shove off. But that might not be too smart. So you humbly say, "No, sir." "Then get up and turn that spit!" He points to the handle by the fire. "If the meat is burnt, it's me, the head cook, that gets the blame from Sir Kay, not my lazy helper." You take the handle and start turning the meat so that it will roast evenly. Soon your arms are aching under the weight of the spit, but the head cook says nothing about stopping. Then you hear a funny shuffling sound. You see a tiny girl trying to carry 2 big buckets of water without spilling them. It isn't easy for her. Maybe you should help her. Okay, here we go with our next set of choices. If you go to help her, turn to page 59. If you keep turning the spit, turn to page 83. Initially here I'm thinking it's every man for himself and that little girl just needs to figure it out on her own. But I do know that no good adventures are going to come out of this if we're just going to sit here turning this spit the whole time. So we're going to go give this girl a hand, but we're going to have to hurry. Otherwise this cook guy is going to beat both of our asses. Page 59. You peer around, but the head cook is nowhere in sight. So you hurry over to help the girl. "Here," you say, "let me help you with those buckets." She looks up at you gratefully. "Oh, thank you. They said if I got my work done fast, I could go and watch the feast." You empty the water into a big tub full of dirty dishes. "All the knights and their ladies will be there in the great hall with our lord the king," the girl continues. "King Arthur will give people quests to go on." As you're helping her with the dishes, a shadow falls across you both. Turn to page 51. A tall man with red hair is scowling down at you. He's wearing a sword, but he seems more interested in the kitchen than in armor. "Where's the cook?" he demands. I told him we needed 60 pies for dinner, and we're 3 pies short. You raise your hand and point him in the right direction, and the man seizes it. Are you the new kitchen help? But your hands are so soft and white. It's true. The girl's hands are rough and red compared to yours. Well, pretty hands, you're gonna have to work harder than that if you want to keep your job. You say, I am working hard. Go to the next page. The man's face flushes an angry red that matches his hair. You watch your tongue, or you won't have any work at all. He pushes you roughly. You slip in a puddle of water. Your feet slip out from under you, and you land right in the dish tub. The man laughs loudly. You're furious, but you guess by the girl's anxious face that this must be a very important person. Holy shit, we're just getting some serious attitude with this guy. We should have honestly known better than that. I mean, the dude is well armed, and he's not any sort of kitchen help. This dude could kill us for no reason. So we just need to keep it cool, man. Our next choices here are, if you leave the room to keep from losing your temper, turn to page 38. If you try to get even with him, turn to page 70. We let our temper get the best of us, and we shouldn't let that happen again. Turn to page 38. You decide you had better leave the room and cool down. Swallowing your anger, you use the girl's apron to wipe the worst of the dishwater off yourself. Then you walk out of the room with all the dignity you can muster. You find yourself in a big stone courtyard. A troop of men in armor is clattering on horseback into the yard. You stop to watch the glorious sight. Turn to page 42. A tall man in a scarlet cape dismounts first. He has a handsome, noble face. Just as he starts to walk under the archway into the castle, you notice something terrible. A large block of stone is hurtling to the ground. Without pausing to even shout, you throw yourself at the man, knocking him out of the way. The stone crashes just inches from where the man had been standing. Instantly, you are surrounded by guards, who seize you and pin you to the ground. Go to the next page. Hold! The noble knight cries. This child saved me. At once, the other knights let you go. They bow to the tall man, who seems to be their leader. Now, he says to you, I am deeply in your debt for my life. Name your boon, and you shall have it. You know from the book that a boon is a special favor, and that you can ask for anything from gold and jewels to a promise that he will save your life someday in return. A boon is a valuable thing to have. Should you save it for when you're really in trouble? Or is now the time to ask to get out of the kitchens? Okay, so here's some more choices. If you say you'll wait and call in the favor later, turn to page 22. If you ask now to be taken to the king, turn to page 65. Now, I'm definitely feeling the idea of getting out of those kitchens because there's a bunch of assholes in there running the show. But at the same time, wouldn't it make more sense just to wait? I think we can gauge our misery that we'll experience from working in the kitchens. So I think we could probably hold out a little while and ask for the favor later when it may better suit us. And we're going to go to page 22. You decide to wait for your boon. You look up at the tall man and try to talk the way the people in the book did. Sir, you are gracious, but let me receive your thanks at some better time. The tall man shrugs. As you will. I will not forget. When you get back to the kitchen, the red-haired bully is gone. The rest of the morning is spent working hard to get ready for the feast. At last, the cook says that you and your new friend, Marjorie, can go and watch the feast. King Arthur's hall is full of people in gorgeous clothes. The tables are covered with jeweled dishes. But the funny thing is, no one's eating a bite. Marjorie whispers, the king never will begin a feast until some adventurer has come in. I wonder what it will be this time. At that very moment, the doors in the hall burst open, and a young girl on a white horse rides into the hall. A man wearing a crown rises to his feet. You recognize the man you saved this morning. It was the king himself. Go to the next page. Arthur, cries the girl on the horse, give me a noble knight to help me, or all is lost. The king says, damsel, what is the matter? Sir, know that my name is Lynette. My sister's name is Leonor. She has been captured by the Red Knight, who keeps her locked in a tower. I escaped to Camelot to seek your help. The king says, we have many champions here eager to prove their strength and courage. The girl doesn't look much older than you. Is this the adventure for you? You could ask the king to grant your boon now. Turn to page 33. King Arthur calls, "Who here will help the Lady Lynette?" Before anyone can answer, you shout, "I will." Everyone turns and stares at you. By the rood! It is the red-haired man. It's Pretty Hands, the scullion. There's a nice champion for a lady. Lynette sits up straight on her horse. "Sir," she says to the king, "do not insult me by sending me off with this person stinking of dishwater. She's just being nasty. She's not really close enough to smell you. And anyhow, you washed before you came. If she keeps on like this, your adventure may be less fun than you had hoped. Maybe her sister Leonor is nicer." You kneel before the king. "Sir," you say, "this morning I did you a service and you promised me a boon. On your honor as the king, I pray you grant me this adventure." The king looks gravely at you. "It's true, I did. And it speaks nobly of you that you seek a deed of honor. Yet I would not want to send you to your death in exchange for my life. The Red Knight is a dangerous foe. Will you not think and ask again?" King Arthur obviously doesn't want us going on this quest. This Red Knight could probably kick our ass. But if you still want to go on the quest, turn to page 54. If you ask Arthur to make you a knight now, turn to page 80. I'm not going to get any respect from anybody if I'm still considered a scullion. I should probably enter into knighthood as soon as possible. So I think I'm going to go ahead and ask King Arthur to make me a knight, and I'm going to turn to page 80. You're not sure you're really ready to go on a quest, and it might be better to stay and help King Arthur. So you say, "King, my wish is to become a knight of the Round Table." "Ha!" shouts the red-haired man. "Knight of the Mop and Dish Rag." "Peace, Sir Kay," says Arthur, "and to you. It is a noble wish, but even I cannot make you a knight right away. You must train many years and prove your courage. All future knights as young as you must begin serving as pages. Now, Sir Dinadad's page has just been made a squire, so Dinadad needs a new page. How now, Dinadan? Is this brave child to your liking?" The big knight with dark curly hair and a pleasant face rises to his feet, but before he can answer the king, there's a terrific crash. The doors burst open, and in walks a giant. A green giant. But he isn't too jolly. He carries a giant green axe on one shoulder, and he's heading straight for the king. Turn to page 85. King Arthur doesn't move a muscle. "Welcome to our feast," he tells the green giant. "If you are hungry, sit and eat, and if you seek a fight, here are many brave knights to take you on."
"I come in peace,"
the green giant says, resting his axe on the floor.
"I only had a little game in mind. Here it is. I'll give this lovely axe as a prize to any one of your brave knights who can hit me with it one blow right now. I won't fight back. But 1 year from today, the same knight must come to me and receive one blow in return. Now, who will take on my little game?"
Nobody says anything. You realize they're trying not to laugh. Anybody who hits the green giant with that big axe is sure to kill him and won't have to take the blow the next year. It seems too easy to be worth their time.
"How now?"
the strange giant roars.
"Is King Arthur's court made up of cowards who fear to strike a blow?"
Boom! Some more choices. If you offer to play the giant's game, turn to page 92. If you go to Sir Dinadan, turn to page 58. Alright guys, we're not going to try to go do anything with this giant here. It seems very, very rigged, and I just don't trust it. So I think we're going to go with our boy Sir Dinadan and turn to page 58. You move closer to Dinadan. He smiles at you and points out a big, handsome knight. That's Sir Gawain. He never can turn down a challenge. Watch this. Sure enough, Sir Gawain has taken up the green giant's challenge. He takes the great axe, and in one blow, he strikes off the giant's head so hard that it flies across the room. But the giant's headless body simply walks over to the head and picks it up.
"Until next year, Gawain,"
it says. That could have been you. Turn to page 17. You decide to become Sir Dinadan's page. The next morning you find Sir Dinadan in the stables. He is there making sure his horses are in good shape for the tournament the following week. Knights will be coming from all over to compete in the jousting. Queen Guinevere herself will hand out the prizes. Turn to page 77. How about you? Sir Dinadan asks you. Can you ride a horse? You look up at the large horse silently. You're not sure you could ride the kind of horse a knight would ride. Let's give you a try, Sir Dinadan says. He lifts you onto his charger's back. The brown horse is enormous. It must be to carry a man in full metal armor. But the charger is surprisingly easy to ride. You have a good feel for horses, the knight tells you. Why don't I start training you in jousting? You can keep Brownie exercised in your spare time. Go to the next page. What spare time, you think, as you prepare for the tournament? Learning to joust is hard work. It's 10 times worse than gym class. You practice making the horse respond to your every move. You practice holding a lance perfectly steady and riding with it aimed at a stick figure. Every time you miss the target, it swivels and hits you in the back. Everyone's excited about the big tournament at Camelot. All the knights are going to fight in it to show who's the best. Sir Lancelot is off on a quest, so you hope Sir Dinadan has a chance of winning. Of course, you wouldn't mind fighting in it yourself, but you're not even a knight yet, so how can you? Turn to page 13. One of the young men training with you is Mordred, the king's nephew. People say that his mother, Morgan Le Fay, is a witch. You believe it. Mordred's kind of a creep. He's always bragging. For instance, he says he's going to fight in the tournament, but he's not much better a fighter than you. In fact, one day during practice, you knock him off his horse. Mordred sprains his ankle because he doesn't fall right. To your surprise, Mordred's mother, Morgan Le Fay, comes to see you, and she isn't mad about her son's ankle. Instead, she says, "You're turning into a good fighter. I hope you'll set a good example for my son. He doesn't practice enough, I know." Then she gets to the point. "I had a little treat prepared for Mordred. I made him a special sword to use in the tournament. Of course, a young boy like him wouldn't get very far, but I thought it would be fun for him to try. He had his disguise all planned out. Now that he can't use it, I wonder if you would like to." What a nice mom! The chance to fight in a tournament is like a dream come true. But do you want to get involved in something that might be magic? And here we are into our next set of choices. Looks like we got a witch in our midst. You know, this might actually work to our advantage, though, if we use this enchanted gear. Because when King Arthur watches me kick everybody's ass, he's gonna make me a knight way sooner than expected. I could just disregard the whole page and squire thing. If you agree to fight in the tournament, turn to page 31. If you turn down Morgan's offer, turn to page 62. I think we're gonna agree to fight in the tournament, and we're gonna turn to page 31. You can't resist the chance to fight in the big tournament. So you let Morgan Le Fay give you a suit of white armor and a beautiful sword. She makes you hide until the tournament's almost done. You're a little nervous, because it means you'll be fighting the best knights. Finally, Morgan gives you a little push and points you toward a particular knight. You haven't been at Camelot long enough to recognize his emblems. And of course his helmet's on. You can't see anybody's face. You charge your horse at the other knight. To your amazement, you knock him off his horse. He must be tired because it's the end of the tournament. You continue to fight on foot. Something funny is going on. You can feel the other knight's sword hitting you, but you never get cut, and you don't fall. On the other hand, every time you're lucky enough to hit him, he staggers. Sometimes he bleeds. This is awful, but he's fighting so fiercely you can't stop, or he might kill you. You don't know how to stop the fight, so you keep bashing away at him. At last he falls to the ground and doesn't get up. People pour onto the field and remove his helmet. It is Arthur himself. You have been a tool of treachery of Morgan Le Fay and her magic sword, and you are responsible for the death of the great King Arthur. The end. That bitch! We kind of walked into that one, but it makes me wonder exactly what's going to happen to me now, because I just killed the king. Chances are Morgan Le Fay is not going to have our backs in this. we got boned big time. We don't even get to know what the consequences are exactly for killing the king, but chances are it's not going to be very good. And what's even more messed up is that we actually saved King Arthur when that thing was about to fall on his head. Did Morgan Le Fay have something to do with that? Either way, we saved King Arthur just so we could kill him ourselves later. Great. But ultimately, we kinda fucked up. And I don't even know what to say for myself. So I guess I'll end it here. If you like what you heard and saw here, feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. And until next time, have a good one.
Thank you.